Hello, welcome to the Beast in Your Family. Here's Maya doing her job this morning. Say hi.
Hi.
What you doing, Maya?
Good.
What you doing?
Washing the table for Mommy.
That's right, that's your job, huh? Good
And
job.
I can dry it off.
Good job. So it's about 9:15, 9:30.
I'm doing a puppy circus for you.
Yay! There's the baby. He has been changed. Not fully clothed yet, but we're okay with that. Learn how to crawl. So this video is for Marnie. Anyone else who's interested in seeing how our family operates? There's a pile of clothes and stuff that are aiming upstairs. See upstairs. I'm not going to go up there yet. Kel just disappeared. So he heard that I was videotaping. He was working on news this morning. So what we've done so far this morning. Here's myself. Hello everyone. What we've done so far this morning is we had a class this morning called Aspire. And I'll tell you about that in a minute. With Lily at 6:30. Is that me? Awesome. And then we went and played basketball as a family at the Y. We shoot for 7 o'clock. Got there about 7:15, 7:20. Played basketball for like 45 minutes together. It's very cool. Then we got back here. Oh, stopped by on the way home. So things are getting late. Piper got breakfast ready for us. Had devotional at 9. Things are a little bit behind schedule, but you know, you get the basic gist of what's happening today. So let's go ahead and do a tour of our house and kind of why we do what we do and how we do it. So here we go. So over here we have our list of jobs that the kids need to get done every day. And I need to redo them. So today's Tuesday, notice, and I haven't replaced them from last week's yet. So this is what it looks like when they've all had them passed off. As you can see, hopefully on there, maybe it's focusing, the things that they have listed that they need to do. They've marked them off. Piper, so you can take those off. We're going to be hanging up new ones today. So here's Drew's. So the top, I've always called those like personal or basics. So there's a little glance of what those are included there. Reviewing the SAR is their student accountability report. When they're 8 and older, or whenever they want to, we do what's called a weekly accountability meeting called a WAM. And there's an example of one where they kind of set goals and commitments. So they just need to look at that every day and kind of see what their goals are for the week. So I can get on target with that. Piper wants me to show you her stain slash, she's like, Mom, I think I have birthmarks. I'm like, oh, birthmarks don't just show up like that. So I think she got some kind of stain or something. Hopefully it's not deadly. Alright, so Piper's going to hang these up for me in a minute here. But here's a good example of a student accountability report. A SAR. Just a minute, I'll show it. See you in a minute. So here's Kel's. So you can see those are things he's working on. Hopefully you can read that. History class and reading, chemistry test, and chapter. So these are goals that he's set for himself. So I think the weekly accountability meeting is really important. Realistically, I do it once every 2 weeks. Try to do it every week. So that's the basic thing we start with in our home is accountability and work. So as you can see on those, they have their personal things. Let me find these forms. Here are the forms again. So you can see they have their personal things that they do every day that are kind of taking care of themselves. Okay, this is my own things I take care of. Then they have their zones. Okay, so this is Hiram. Okay, Hiram last week. He was on laundry. We ran out of ink, so we had to cross that off and do it different. Anyway, so he was in charge of helping with laundry all week long. The older they get, the more they take care of that area until they pass all the areas off, and then they have stewardship, but that's like for another day.
Drew has too.
Like Drew has. Drew does the bathrooms every day, and he's really awesome at it. There's Kel. Woo! Who's not appearing in this film. Okay, so we have our basic things we do. Then for me, what we do is we have our basic schedule. So here's our schedule over here. I'll try it. And as you can see on our schedule here, Kel, I can do it. We have, there's our 6:15 Aspire class. It was supposed to be on for yesterday. Then we played basketball at 7. There's this idea in Thomas Jefferson Education. I know Marnie knows about it. But it says structure time and not content. So what I have is, I'm going to clean at someone's house. This is what I did this morning. We have devotional at 9. And then I have just an open time here where I kind of teach them based on what our focus is for the day. And I'll talk about that in a minute. So these are some things we can shoot for. I'll teach Piper the piano lesson. We'll play some memory game, do a time machine. Maya, you're too noisy. Shh, okay? Lunch, we'll have peanut butter sandwiches today. We'll have some quiet time. Maya, go upstairs. You're too noisy. Thank you. 3 p.m. we have World Summit. We're discussing the U.S. elections. I'll go into what that is in a little bit. We have history. And then we'll have spaghetti tonight. And they'll have scriptures and prayer, and that's not on there. Alright, so that's how I structure my day. Now, the reason why I structure it that way, this is the basic philosophy behind what I do. I kind of covered this in another video. If you go to Vanguard, this is the Vanguard website, Vanguard Youth website, it talks about this in more detail. I don't know if you can read that very well. But basically, I feel like my kids need to have a strong core, which is kind of who they are and how they make decisions, and show them good examples of things so they can decide what they want to follow that or not. Basically, their moral compass. And then we have the crust, which is that little fringe on the outside there, you can see. And those are skills they could learn. So let's show an example of one of these. Today is Geoconquest. Okay, so what I told them this morning at breakfast is I said, hey guys, Geoconquest Day. I'll be doing my history class. If you guys want to do any of these things today, it's a good idea. Graphic summaries. You can study history. You can do a Prezi. Very fun. Cultural appreciation. Family history. Journaling application. So we're talking about the elections. To me, that's application today. We're also going to do some research. I should have research on a skill. You can see over there there's geography, facts, there's typing, map study, language study. I encourage them to do at least one core and one crust activity every day. So today, this is how I kind of structure it. This is the things that I have ownership over. These are classes I offer the kids, and they can participate or not. And this is how I structure it. So Mondays, we have Leadership Day. You can see leadership on there. I do Aspire, which is a book that I really love by Kevin Hall. It teaches good leadership principles. And so every Monday, ideally, obviously we did Tuesday this week because of things that happen. But we get up, and it's been Lily and I that have been doing it, just the two of us, but it's been fun. I've really loved it, totally worth it. Sometimes we'll do word studies or have new spelling lists because words are important and definitions for leaders. We'll do some kind of leadership focus either in devotional or later that day. It's important to play games to learn how to be polite and kind, so we played some games yesterday. We do a thinking about thinking discussion. That's more for probably Tova and Kel and I. And it's another book that's really great, and it's short articles, and we just talk about it. Then, Tuesday, you can see there's geography, Geoconquest, so we kind of do geography skills and core. And we don't do a geo test once a month. They've been doing Satera, so that's kind of done it for me. They'll do U.S. state presentations. They've been doing it every week for a while, but we haven't done it for a couple weeks. Lily's going to do our next one. Then we do a World Summit, which is when Kel and Tova and Drew and I come together with articles, and we discuss what's going on in the world right now. Now, for the last couple of weeks, or so far these months, what we've done for those World Summits is we have taken a continent for that month, and then we'll just research, canvas what's going on in that continent. We'll each come with a different news article, and we'll sit around the table over here with our map, and we'll just share what we learned. Hopefully this is focusing in that. I'm not sure if it is or not. But this week we're going to talk about the elections. We're going to each take a different candidate, research them, and come and talk about what the candidates are doing. So, you know, what's going on in the world. I want the kids to have kind of a good flavor of what's happening there. So let's go over here to our microphone again. The time machine is just something where you make it fun. You just take something I'm learning about. For instance, I'm reading a quarter of the U.S. history book, The History of Us. We're on book 7. We're finishing this last chapter, the last of the book. Here, I'll show you the book over here. But what I'll do is I'll take from that book. Oh, I put it down here somewhere. Here I am. This is how my day goes. I look around my house. You guys are getting dizzy. Oh, here it is. All right. These books are fantastic. History of Us. So what I'll just do is we're on Reconstructing America. It's right after the Civil War. Very interesting time period in history. Actually, this book, everything's interesting. And what we're going to do is we're going to cover the last section. We've already read through here. I think this is where we're starting about women's suffrage. And we'll be covering the role of women here. There's a lot of talk about electricity. So Edison will be covering Jim Crow laws. And this book's fantastic. I mean, if you want a great resource, this is just #1. As you can see, there's lots of cartoons. These are actually cartoons from back then. It's not just come up with, you know, whatever. And they have quotes from people who actually were there, lived through the time period. It brings in the Constitution. It's a great book. It has all those pictures. They're very attainable. So what we do for this is I ask the kids to read this section. So today it'll be section, we do it in a month, so we split up into 4 weeks, and so they'll read the last part of the book for today, and today we're going to do like a graphic summary, we'll talk about that another time, on it, so what they learned. And what I'll do is I'll take something from in there, like maybe the Jim Crow laws, and for the time machine, I'll just make a mini simulation for little kids, and those little kids, they'll just play and do something, they'll bring you treats or whatever, so they can kind of experience what that meant. I know that I go through these cycles of history about every 4 years, and so I know that in 4 years, they'll come back and they'll get it in more depth. And so I don't worry about the younger kids knowing everything I'm learning about right now. All right, so going on, Wednesday, kind of get a feel of how we're doing things here. The rest of the week will be kind of short. Here we have science and skills and core. I normally just read through a chapter of anatomy. I'll show you the book over here. Hopefully it's not upstairs with Kel. If it is, I'll have him go up and get it. It looks like it's upstairs. Anyway, hey guys, we have the anatomy book, Hava. Hey Kel, can you bring down the anatomy book please real quick? Anyway, so we do an anatomy book, and I read through it, and it has really great discussions. It has experiments, things they can do, like hold your arms out to the side and see if you feel the blood rushing away from it. You know, that's your muscles or your circulation, whatever. Anyway, lots of cool things. Use clay to make a brain. Those are very fun. As you can see, it gets simpler. Kind of have a lot the first day, second day, it gets simpler. And then again, I just encourage them. I say, hey, you know, what are you going to do for your Eureka, science, crust, and core? You might wonder where math is in all this. As you can see on here, in the bottom part, because we're in the state of New York, we actually are required to do certain subjects. And so that's my excuse for telling my kids they have to do them. So anyway, the kids were already doing it before. Thank you so much. The kids are already doing it before. As you can see, they check off math every day. I don't care really what they do for math for the most part. I mean, with Drew, I say, you know, hey, you don't need to do the addition flashcards anymore. But, you know, just to build skills with math. You can see music, exercise, whatever class I'm doing that day, writing and language. Now with these, I will turn in these forms to the state, and I've told the kids I don't feel like it's a reflection on how good they are, but it's just my record of them. Kind of like the student accountability reports here, like Kel's, it's up here. It's just a record, and for some reason, just seeing that there's a record of what they're doing is important. I do say if they're not done with something in these areas, then they can't have, you know, whatever it is we're doing that weekend. Now these are things they've already agreed to beforehand. They've agreed they want to do, so it's not just me just coming up with, yeah, you should do all these things. They're like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. And then, yeah, so there's the math in that. So Kel wrote down this anatomy book, Exploring Creation with Human Anatomy and Physiology. Fantastic book. Here's a picture of it. Just as you can see, I don't buy a lot of curriculum, but this one just has Design a Science Fair project in it. It has great pictures. I love it because it talks about God being the one who created our bodies, which is important to me. Anyway, they have this. Try this. Close your eyes, fully extend your arms out to your sides. Now point outwards. Take the tip of your right index finger. Touch the tip of your nose. Now your eyes are closed here. Now try the same thing with your left index finger. Keeping your eyes closed, try to touch both fingers together in front of you. Can you do it? Just think of the amount of input flowing into your cerebellum that is necessary for you to be able to do this. It's a good thing most of this information is processed without you having to think too hard about it. Anyway, so it's fun to do these just little, you know, try this throughout it. It helps reinforce the concepts. So love science. So much fun. And also when the weather's nice, we'll probably do more field trips that day. We also do sign language choir. That's something Tova takes care of. Something she wanted to teach, which is great. Thursdays often we'll go to the temple. That takes most of the morning. They leave at about 6 o'clock and they get back about 11. So it just takes that long to get over to the Palmyra Temple. Art, skills, and core. I'll try to do like some kind of art project or something artish. Here's this one from a couple weeks ago. Just basically get out some art and say, hey, here you go, here's an art book. Do something out of it. It's not always very structured. Sometimes it's more structured than others. So there's arts. The thing I really focus on Thursday is Authors in the Attic. It's a lot of fun. They come with some great things. You can see our poems and stories on Poems Woems at blogspot.com. .blogspot.com. And just, again, it's a fun collection. They're looking forward to it every week. We take it off of the, what's her name? The lady, Louise May Alcott, who wrote Little Women. She did little Authors in the Attic thing where they shared things together once a week. And they got up in the attic, and they had candles, so we do things like that. Then on the Friday is kind of catch-up day. It's going to do everything else. Hi! We do Beautiful Girlhood, which is really fun, where we focus on being a woman. We have like a tea party. It's really fun. Then we do a great books discussion once a month. So anyway, that's basically what we do in our house and why we do what we do. You can see here it kind of outlines our month, our focus for the month, and we do things that focus on that. This is our great books discussion I do with Tova and Kel right here. This is to see how we have history right here. Think about thinking. And Aspire chapter kind of lets them know where we're at. So anyway, if you have any more questions or anything else you want me to record, Marnie, let me know, and I'll do that for you.